Okay, well, let's go over what's been accomplished so far regarding the batting insulation. Okay, so what you do is start off with your main drawing, your main pattern, and you need to reduce it. You need to reduce the batting down by about 3/4 of an inch all the way around the entire perimeter of the pattern. So we reduce the size by about 3/4 of an inch all the way around. Okay. Now when we get to the back or the top, this is where your ankle is going to be. And the idea is to keep the insulation down far enough from the top of the ankle that the insulation isn't going to add extra stress onto the sewing machine. So what this is going to have is it's going to have some leather going around the top of the ankle. Okay, so we're going to have this like that, and that way the insulation isn't going to be interfering with the stitching of the leather around the ankle. Okay, and make sure that when you come to the back that your insulation comes up to that line. That's 3/4 of an inch from the cut line. Okay, because what's going to happen is that it's going to get folded over and sewn together, and that way the insulation will join together. Okay, now there was something that I'm trying on this particular pattern, and that is in this position, this point right in about here, I'm going to put a pucker in there. I guess it's a dart, because I want to tighten the heel up a little bit. So I think that if I can put a dart in here, about a 1/4 inch dart, it's going to tighten the heel up. I haven't done it before, and I'm going to try it. So when everything is put together, I'll know whether it works or not. So here's an example of the way things are looking now. We've got the extra layer of denim. We've filled it, we've used Thinsulate as a insulating material. We've stitched around it using number 69 thread, an upholstery thread, so that's not going to wear out very fast. Eventually we will run some more stitches down the middle to stabilize the bottom. Okay, so I've gone ahead. This is what the dart looks like. So I've moved it up from the center about 2 inches, and it's about 3/4 of an inch back by about 3/16 on each side of that line. So here's one that I've done already. Okay, so these two will come up. They actually get sewn this way and then turned inside out, but they come up like this and are sewn together. So with that dart in there, I hope to tighten this heel up and make it more snug than what it is right at using it without the dart. So I wanted to show you what's going on with this, and just to keep that in mind, you might want to try that on one of your own pair as well. So I'm going to go ahead. Now I'm going to show you what I'm doing with the actual insulation that I'm using. Okay, I'm using this for the liner. Okay, so this is the part that your foot will be fitting against. So it's a quilted polyester with a little bit of polyester fill in it. And then in between the denim and this layer of polyester, I've decided to use this type of fleece here. So I drew the outline of the insulating material on here. Now I'm going to put that on there, and then I'm going to stitch around the round on the chalk. But what I want you to notice, and I want you to do, I want you to leave at least 2 inches back. Okay? Now, and it only has to be on 1/2 of the material, because what the idea of this is when we fold the heel together and we have a raw seam on the inside, this polyester will go past the center and it'll be solidly stitched here, and when we lay it on the other side of the moccasin, we'll be able to put a few hand stitches in it, and that will stabilize it, and then you won't be able to see any raw stitches. So that's what that is. Make sure you leave about 2 inches, and then we'll just see how everything fits, and we'll cut it to suit. So make sure that you leave enough on the back. And that part does not have to have insulation on it. That's just going to be the polyester itself. And once we determine the proper size, we'll fold it over, and so there won't be any raw edges showing there at all. So I'm going to go ahead and start stitching this up, and I'll come back to you and show you how things are working out.